Hello, my loves. Welcome to my channel. My name is Michelle, and we're going to keep the reading short and sweet today. So I'm just going to use one deck, and I think I'm just going to sort of play out how the days go and how the energy wants to flow throughout the week. But I feel like Sundays feels like a good day to do something that's short and sweet. So we'll do that for today and see how it goes over the next few weeks with Sundays that are short and sweet with the energetics. I may pull one card for the overall divine feminine energy. We'll see how that goes at the end. So again, today will just be a simple, short and sweet message for the collective. If you're new here, I have been a channel and an intuitive and an energy worker for a while now, but I am just getting started into taking my readings onto social. So I've been doing readings for quite a while, but more privately, and my creative juices have been flowing, and Source has been sharing with me to get these messages out to the collective. So here I am. So I'm just starting to build a community and a following. I would love it if you like the video and if you were to subscribe if these messages resonate with you and you feel like staying connected. I will be moving forward, anchoring into messages around every new moon and every full moon, and messages throughout the week. I'm just starting out with creating these videos, so we'll see sort of what flows, and I'm sure as with time, the channel will sort of take on a whole new personality of its own. So just to give you a heads up, if you're curious as to where we are in the lunation cycle today, we are in the waning gibbous phase. So we've just closed out our full moon a few days ago, as well as the lunar eclipse in Taurus. And gibbous means bulging. So waning gibbous is the period right after the full moon. So right now we're being asked to rest, to reflect, to realign, to readjust. This is really a time, it's more of the yin cycle of the lunation phase, and we're asked to really just take it easy and really go inward and to sort of tap into our internal reserves so we can prepare for the new moon that's coming in the next week. So the moon today also is in Cancer, and the overall theme for the next 2 days while the moon is in Cancer is our moon is asking us to access our soul, and Cancer is asking us to access our heart. Cancer is a feminine, watery, nurturing energy, and she's really going to tug on your heartstrings. So where can you tap into allowing yourself to feel into your heart space, allowing the emotions to come to the forefront, allow them to be as you sit through them during this period of reflection that we're in the waning gibbous phase. And it's a great time to journal. It's a great time to anchor into a gratitude practice and a forgiveness practice. This is the time of the lunation cycle that we do those internal practices for ourselves. After we've closed out and let go from the new moon and the lunar eclipse, it's created space. And this space now is asking us to fill it with all of the things that fill our heart space, as well as forgiveness and gratitude. And then this is going to really help bolster your energy as you move forward into the new moon in Sagittarius that's coming up in about a week and a half, just over a week and a half. So the spread that I'm going to do with this deck is a 4-card spread. This deck here is the Shaman's Dream Oracle, and I love this one for many reasons. I love the artwork. There's something very mystical, very dreamy about it. The messages they're always perfect. They are not too deep. They resonate with the 3D realm. So, you know, there's some decks out there that I'll use that are a little bit more of a higher frequency, that tend to hit more in the 5D realm, more of the ethereal energetics, and those are great. I go through many different decks based off of the energy of the day, the energy of the moon, what's happening with our cosmos, what source wants to give me. So today's feels a little bit lighter, but it feels like the messages that want to come through, they want to be felt. They want to be felt as if they're grounded, and how can we apply them into our daily life instead of it being, you know, our higher self, or coming from light code activations and transmissions, which can be really ethereal, and sometimes they can be a little bit harder to ground. So the reading today is going to be a bit more grounded, and it's going to help us to understand what you need to pay attention to in your day-to-day life, in your 3D life. So I say that this is the short and sweet reading for Sunday, so we'll see how short we can keep it. So our first card, Spirit, is going to be the current energy that the watcher needs to know. This is the current energy that we're working with. So I'm going to pull the 4-card spread, and then we will go through the storyline and the messages for each card. So the first card that came out here is Closing Door Completion, which is so on point with where we are right now in our lunation phase, having just come out of the lunar eclipse and the full moon. So we're going to pull a second card here, which is going to either be a challenge or an ally. So Spirit, can you show us, please, what is a challenge or an ally on the path of our watcher? And I already dropped into a meditation before I jumped on camera here, and I cleansed the space, I set the sacred space, called in the directions. So our second card here, which is either a challenge or an ally, is Dancing on One Foot, Balancing Act. Again, I will go through all of the messages once I pull the spread, so we'll do 2 more. This next card, Spirit, please bring forth the message that is hidden beneath the surface that needs to come out. So what is the message that is hidden beneath the surface that wants to come out? And we'll take 1 card, please. I'll take 1 card for the hidden message. And this card is Adaptability, Woodwives. And I always say to not only pay attention to the words, but also to the colors, to the symbols, to the images, the archetypes. It's really important to pay attention to the subtleties in every reading, as that's where the messages are really not only in the forefront messages that are clearly here written and in the message book, but also to the symbols that are a little bit more hidden. So our final card will be the overall energy. The closing energy that is always of the highest and most beneficial good of the watcher. I'll take 1 card, please, Spirit. And the final outcome card. Ah, beautiful. Garden of Venus, Rest and Renewal. So beautiful. So you can really see here the overall theme, the storyline of the reading. And we'll go through each one here in a moment. So we have the first card, which is Closing Door Completion. That's the current energy. Then we have a challenge or an ally, which is dancing on one foot, balancing act. So again, perception is everything. How do you choose to look at this message, as being a challenge or an ally on your path? And then we have what is hidden beneath the surface that needs to come to the forefront is Woodwives, adaptability. And then we have the final outcome, which is Garden of Venus, rest and renewal. So beautiful. You can really see the progression here of the messages. We've got the current completion phase that we're in, and collectively and individually, we really all are moving through a massive completion cycle. And then it looks like what's coming next is the balancing act. So starting to figure out and understand how we start to juggle to move forward. Adaptability comes next. How can we adapt to the cycles, to the lessons, to the gifts? And then coming out on the end is rest and renewal. And the other thing that I love about the progression of these cards are the colors. So, we really see a lot darker here, a lot more mysterious. And then we have the green for the balancing act. So a little bit more earthy, a little bit starting to become a little bit brighter, a little bit more fresh. And then we have adaptability with the light, the bright, the gold here. And then we have the Garden of Venus, which is full on pop of color. We've got all of the flowers. We have the opening here, the archway, and we have the butterflies. So again, beautiful progression of the messages. So we'll start with completion, closing door. Just make sure that you guys can see that. Yeah. So our first card here is the current energy. So we have closing door. This represents endings, completion, and your greater calling. When the closing door shows up, it's a call to recognize an ending, to terminate a relationship, job, task, or situation that has been dragging on far too long. Unlock the cage you have been trapped in and shut the door behind you. This is not the time to worry about what others might think or feel. Instead, break with routine, consider what you think and how you feel, and be true to your heart's calling. It's time to walk out the door. If you do not see a door but only a solid wall in front of you, ask for assistance. Muster the courage to say no more. Remember as well that no one else needs to be wrong in order for you to do what you've known you've needed to do for a long time. If the door to a project or a relationship has been closed to you, stop knocking on it. You have tried that already and no one answered, at least not in the way you would have liked. Take this as a gift. Difficult and painful as it might be, move on. Every door that shuts is an invitation to find another way, another path to your destination. Better to recognize this earlier rather than later. How many of us leave a relationship or job years after we knew it was time to move on? Stop wallowing in the pain and lingering on the reasons why things did not work. It is keeping you from your greater calling. Bow deeply before the closed door, give thanks to the lessons, and set yourself free. Beautiful card here. I think it was pretty straightforward, the message. Remembering that every door that closes is not to be looked at as failure. Or like something didn't work out, because really it's all a blessing in disguise, and everything that doesn't work out is really working out. So the closing of a door just means that it is the opening of a new one, and to be gentle with yourself, as difficult and painful as it might be to move on and to move forward. Take a moment to really honor and reflect on what was. And again, the lunation cycle that we're in right now, this phase of the waning gibbous, you're being asked to anchor into gratitude. So start a gratitude practice, write down on paper all the things, all the people, all the moments, everything that you're truly grateful for, the abundance in your life. And then anchor into a forgiveness practice. Write down people that you forgive, situations that you want to forgive. It can even be yourself. And these are all things that are going to be great to close out the cycle so we can make way for the new that's coming in very shortly for a new moon. So that was the current energy. And then we have dancing on one foot, balancing act. And this is going to be either a challenge or an ally on your path. Again, the lens through which you view these messages through are really going to dictate your experience. So you can look at this as a challenge or as a helper. So dances on one foot represents a balancing act, resourcefulness, and saying yes to life. When dances on one foot shows up, you are called to find a new balance. Just as a dancer moves gracefully into each pose, no matter how precariously balanced the step might seem, you must bring equanimity to the situation before you, no matter how thorny or difficult a relationship seems. If you are putting too much effort into managing your life, work, relationship, family, and digital media, you are missing the point. You have to be dancing while juggling your entire life, knowing that at any one time, half of it is going to be up in the air. It's not that you are doing too much and find it impossible to catch up. Rather, it's that you are confusing readiness with preparation. You will never ever be fully prepared for all the challenges in life, but you can be ready to say yes to a new invitation the universe offers you. Live in a state of yes to spirit and no to everything that infuses with life, romance, vitality, and the sacred. You will be surprised by how quickly your load lightens when you hold true to this lesson. You are challenged now to work with the resources available to you and not be seduced by the belief, if only I had more. Life has provided you with everything you need to accomplish your goals and fulfill your mission. When it feels like you are losing your balance, do not contract, holding your arms close to your chest, for you will fall. Instead, reach out and extend them fully, saying yes to Spirit's steadying hand. So this message, what I take from this that stands out the most to me is this sentence here of, life has provided you with everything you need to accomplish your goals and fulfill your mission. And this goes beautifully with anchoring into a gratitude practice and really looking at the abundance that you do have that is in your life. We are in this culture of constantly wanting more, feeling like we need more, consuming to no end, the need for the newest and the most updated. And that really becomes such a negative cycle and loop that we get stuck in. And I've been there for a long time. And so I've really started to change the lens through which I view my abundance in my life and really looking at what Spirit has provided me with, which is everything I need, which is perfect. And it's not too much, it's not too little. It's exactly what I need to be able to live a healthy and full life, to be able to anchor into my mission and my goals and my purpose. So how can we start to anchor into that energy as we move through this last phase of the moon before the new moon, as this is the time to really look at the abundance in your life, to have gratitude for the big things and the smallest things down to the tiniest detail. And I promise that when you start to gather that into your internal reserve, it's really going to propel you forward and help you as we move through the next part of the lunation phase for the new moon coming up in a week and a half, which is new moon Sag is coming up. Okay, so we've got card 64. For those that are interested in numbers, the first card was 5. Our second card was 9. And then this current card is 64 for those who are into numerology. So we have adaptability, woodwives. And this is the message that is hidden beneath the surface that wants to come to the forefront. So for me, when I look at numbers, so 6 plus 4 is 10. And 1 plus 0 is 1. So how I look at this card for me in the message with the number is 1 being the start of a new cycle. And this goes really perfectly into the overarching storyline here of our cards. So we had closing door completion. The number of 5 is that middle point where there's change and there's uprooting, and we're sort of in that middle point of like crossing the threshold. So of course that's so perfect. We've got 9 here, which is 1 right before 10, and this is kind of like the next step before we start that new cycle. So again, perfect for the time, the phase that we're in for the moon. And then we've got 6 plus 4, we've got 10, 1 plus 0 is 1. So this card to me representing the start of the new. And we've got adaptability here. So we'll read the card and then we'll see how that lines up. So the messages here are adaptability, strong roots, and growth. And already the number of 1 being the new, the start, and strong roots and growth being the foundation, what really holds to support the new. So the Woodwives dance into your dreams as a reminder to be grounded no matter what life offers you. You need to know who you are, what you'll tolerate, what you've learned to date, and what boundaries to set so you feel good about yourself. Life is going to offer you something extraordinary now, and in order to learn and receive its blessings, you must remember that being grounded gives you more freedom, not less. You have everything you need. You have all it takes to do this right now. If you also keep reminding yourself to be flexible, you will be amazed by how well things play out for you. The Woodwives are both wisdom keepers and students of the new world, as these forest spirits have an uncanny ability to adapt to changing circumstances and always find the perfect way to grow and expand. They represent what you already know how to do. Learn. Be in beginner's mind. Let go of your rigid notions of how things should be and be present to what is right now, unencumbered by your projections. Is there a storm brewing because things need to change? No worries, nothing can uproot you now, and it will pass, and you will dance with nature and move with it all. Perhaps you are being given an opportunity to take a chance on something new, and you're not sure how far you can go without losing your footing. Have no fear, for when you remember your roots, your integrity, your authentic self, you can stretch yourself beyond the invisible line you drew. Go for it. You will be ever so glad you did. So of course, so bang on to what I had said about the number 1 being the foundation, the root of everything, being in beginner's mind and letting go of the expectations or the outcome of how you think it should look and how it should go. If you remain open and more flexible to let spirit move you and to allow yourself to be malleable, then there's more spontaneity, there's more excitement, and there's more space to flow. So really, really beautiful card. Again, it seems like it's perfect for the progression here of our story. You have everything you need. You have all it takes to do this right now. And blessings are coming in, and I've been seeing that in a lot of the readings lately, that the closing out of what was is the ending, but that just means that new is coming in, blessings are coming, new opportunities are here. You can probably start to feel them. Hang tight, because as we move through these lunar cycles, things are going to start to become a lot more illuminated. So we have our final card here, which is Garden of Venus. I do love, this is a number 25 card, and if you were to deduce that 2 plus 5 is 7, 7s tend to be the more challenging spiritual number. If you look at I tend to go off the numbers based off of the tarot archetype, so 7 tends to be a little bit more of a challenging number, but we've got Garden of Venus here. Garden of Venus. And again, when I say challenging number, it's all about the lens that you view that through. So it's really in the challenge that's where we learn something that we don't love, something that we need to change and refine and fix so that we can really get to the thing that we do love and the thing that is really meant to be. So, okay, Garden of Venus, the place of all is well, rest and renewal, self-acceptance. When the Garden of Venus appears, you are invited, actually summoned, to return to the pleasure garden of love. It is time to leave the field of battle. Put your sword away. There is nothing you need to defend anymore. Step through the gate into the garden of earthly delights. Bask in the joy of wish-fulfilling trees and the scent of the healing flowers. You have returned home. You are weary, and it is time to rest deeply and be renewed. Go into the sacred garden alone, as there is no need for another to be present to experience its pleasures. Really, stop looking for the other. Enter by yourself. Allow your senses to intoxicate you. Leave all thought behind, lose your analytical mind, and return to your body. In the Garden of Venus, there is a still pond that shows you your reflection when you stoop down to drink. Who is that staring back at you? Look at who you have become. Rinse your face with these healing waters and practice deep acceptance. Love who you have turned into and with all your imperfections and blemishes. The goddess Venus holds a mirror that allows you to see yourself in all your flawed beauty. Do not become caught in its spell. After a quick glance, take the mirror with you and return to the battlefield, that you may reveal to others who they are becoming. Then you will no longer have a use for your sword. Also a very beautiful message to finish out the storyline, and again, where we are right now with our moon, taking this time to rest. You might be energetically depleted, you might be feeling emotionally exhausted. Again, this is the time to really listen to your body, as the waning gibbous phase of the moon cycle is when we anchor into more of the yin practices. So try to find the yoga that's restorative and yin. And if you need more naps, take the nap. Feel like you want to journal, journal. Feel like you want to be alone and in solitude, take that time for yourself. This is really about listening to your body. And if you don't desire to be around other people, take that time to do you. We live in a world where sometimes we feel like we have to show up a certain way for others. We have to constantly give for others. We so often put our heart and our needs and our wants and our desires at the back of the line for other people. So really take these next several days to be slow and to take this time for yourself. Because I promise you, as we start to enter and ramp up into the days right before the new moon in Sag, the energy is going to change and you'll get more of a push to start creating again. So enjoy this cycle that we're in now. I'm going to pull one final card from the Goddess deck here. And mainly because, well, Garden of Venus was our last card, and I'm feeling called to with Venus, the planet of love here and pleasure. We also are right now in the time of the rise of the divine feminine, and these cards here, these goddess energetic cards, have been powerful for all of the work that I've been doing with a lot of different women in many different communities. And I think this will just be a beautiful message to finish and close off our reading. Take from this message whatever resonates. Leave behind what doesn't call to you. Spirit will take one card, please. One card, please. One card for the divine feminine energy. What is the divine feminine energy that wants to come out for our watcher, for the collective? Oof, Isis, Rebirth. I just love, I love how Spirit likes to speak. Rebirth. So this is literally the phase that we are in. The solar eclipse we had in Scorpio, full death and rebirth. Last week was the lunar eclipse in Taurus, full death and rebirth. These eclipses are going to be felt 60 days out before and after. So you'll have probably started to have felt and started to work through the lessons around end of August, beginning of September. And we are still in this eclipse season, and the energy will be felt all the way until January 2023. We've got 6 eclipses on this axis of the Scorpio-Taurus axis. Scorpio represents death and rebirth. It is the 8th house of the zodiac wheel. It is the energetics of the underworld. It cuts deep. It is, you cannot have your cake and eat it too. That energy won't serve you right now. It is literally, you can anchor into and hold on to the old, or you can take that step forward, completely let go of all that was so that you can commit to the new. And so that is the energy of rebirth. So let's take a look at Isis as our final card to send you off to close out your week. So the empowerment message here: the process of soul retrieval, resurrection, and rebirth is the theme recurrent through the stories of the Egyptian goddess Isis, and one that she invites you to address now. This is a powerful moment to see some of what you thought you'd lost go through a process of regeneration to live again. Like magic, the pieces of you that were considered lost in old wounds and stories are ready to be reclaimed in a healthier, more mature version. Where you were hopeless, now there is hope. Where you lost faith, you have the capacity for even more now. Where there was inequity and injustice, now you can see a better way. Where you were abandoned, now you can choose you. You are ready to face these parts of yourself and to gather them together as you step into a newer, more powerful version of yourself, your work, your relationships, and your creativity. Have courage, let go of blame, claim your accountability, and then co-create something better. You can do this. The goddess Isis has come to help you as a potent supporter in your growth. Beautiful. Okay, my loves, I'm going to leave the reading at that. I hope this was a short and sweet Sunday message for you to close out your weekend. I would love it if you liked the video, and if you feel called to subscribe, follow along, connect in this intimate community that I'm looking to build here. And I'm sending you many blessings. Ciao.